Welcome my 2 stars explanation channel, stars clarification. So, in the beginning of the film, we see 2 girls. One of them is Sister Barnes and the other is Sister Paxton. These 2 girls are missionaries who work for the church, just like doing conversion etc. So, recently a guy named Reed contacted their church and said that he is interested in their religion, but he has some questions that he wants answers. And for this, both the missionary girls are going to Reed's house. Meanwhile, some mischievous girls come to them by mistake. And suddenly, they run away by putting Paxton's skirt down. One by one, they are bullied. Both of them can't do anything about it. They just leave from there crying. The weather also gets bad until they reach Reed's house. Strong winds start blowing and it also starts raining. Barnes locks this cycle with this gate. And then both of them go inside and knock on Reed's door. After which Reed comes and warmly welcomes both of them. And then both of them start talking about their religion. On which Reed invites them inside the house. But first Barnes asks that is there any woman in your house? Like your wife or sister etc. Then only we will come inside for safety reason. Reed says that yes, my wife is there. She is making pie inside. You guys like pie, right? Now hearing this, both of them go inside. Then Reed takes both of their wet coats and leaves. And comes back and talks to them. Reed says that can you smell and guess which pie my wife is making? On which Paxton smells and says that this is blueberry pie. My favorite. Then after this Reed comes to the main topic. That is religion. So first he shows that he respects their religion a lot. And also shows them the holy book. Both of them feel good after knowing this. But then in the second moment he starts making some uncomfortable comments on their faith. Even he makes fun of Barnes's father's death. When Barnes says that his father's death is due to Lou Gehrig's disease. On this he says that is it blueberry disease? And when Paxton corrects him. Then while saying sorry he says that I heard blueberry by mistake. I thought you are making a joke on my pie. Means he made fun of him and stuck the credit on Barnes. Now both of them become a little uncomfortable with all this. Anyway, when their discussion goes ahead. Then both the girls realize that he does not want to listen to us. But wants to make us listen to him. Wants to put his thoughts on us. Both of them feel something is wrong. Barnes knocks Reed in the middle and says, "Can we meet your wife please?" Reed says that my wife is a little shy. Anyway, I will also talk to her. And then he goes to the other room. As soon as he leaves. When Barnes turns the candle on the table in front of him. Then what she sees. That it was actually a candle with blueberry pie scent. So actually there was no wife inside. Who was making blueberry pie. Reed had cheated them. Both understand that this man's intentions are not right. Then Reed comes back and says, "Come on. My wife is calling you inside." But she does not go with him. Barnes says with this excuse that we have got a call from the church. So now let's talk and come. As soon as Reed leaves, Barnes tells Spectrum that now we should get out of here immediately. And both start going from there without taking their coat. But when they open the door, then they find out that the door is locked. Reed had locked them here. When they try to call, then it turns out that the signal was weak here. Then suddenly the room light also turns off. Which Reed did not do. Now in helplessness, both go to Reed. And tell him that now we have to go. Church people are calling us. Reed says that oh man. Come on, no problem. You guys go. Then when both of them pick up their coat in front of them and wear it. Then they find out that the key to the cycle lock. The key was no longer in Barnes's pocket. Then when Spectrum checks her pocket. Then the key is found in her pocket. This work was also Reed's. But why he did this will be revealed later. Anyway, Barnes says here that actually the door is locked. You please open it. Reed says sorry. But the door will not open. Actually it is accidentally locked. Which is connected to a timer system. Now it will open tomorrow morning. Anyway, you can go through this back door instead of the front door. But both hesitate to go through the back door. They feel something is wrong. And request that please let us go through the front door. Reed says that sorry, this is not possible now. You can go through the back door. By the way, you are free to go. I never put pressure on you. Still you lied to me. Made an excuse to go from here. That you got a call from the church. Barnes says that we are not making any excuse. We are really called by the church people. Reed says that this is not possible. Because there is metal in the walls and ceilings of the house. Actually the metal can absorb and reflect the cellular frequency. That's why the signal in the heavy metal area is weak. Anyway, Barnes says that you have a phone. Reed says sorry, I don't have a phone. And now it was too much. That's why Barnes starts going through the back door. But when she opens the door, then it turns out that the way was not going out, but it was going to the basement. Then she opens the second door and sees that there was no exit from there. It was also going to the basement. Barnes gets upset with all this and says that look, we are here. The president of the state knows this. Braxton also says yes. The police also saw us coming here. So please let us go. Otherwise you can get into trouble. Reed knew that both of them were throwing like this. That's why he doesn't take their words seriously. And now he reveals what he wants from them. That you both sell your religion, your idea to others. Today I will sell my idea to you. And tells them that all religions are fake. Except one. And I will introduce you to that one true religion today. And then he tries to prove that all religions are fake. They are copies of each other. Including both of them. And there is no God. And like this he tries to break their faith. Then after this he writes belief on one door. And disbelief on the other. And gives a choice like 100 jigsaw. That if you still believe in your religion, then go through the door of belief. But if you like my words, means you now disbelieve in your religion, then go through the path of disbelief. Now Braxton gets very scared among all this. He starts sweating. He just wanted to go home. He thinks that if he listens to him, he will let him go home. She immediately accepts her defeat and says, that Mr. Reed, you are a very smart person, and we have learned a lot from you. Thank you very much for this. And now we should leave this path of disbelief for home. By the way, Braxton's belief was not broken. Just his courage was broken. And he was saying this in fear. But Barney's neither courage nor faith was broken. She does not agree with him. And by cross-questioning Reed's questions, she proves him wrong. And chooses the path of belief. And asks Braxton, that you still believe in God. Braxton says yes. After which Barney takes him with him. And goes through the door of belief. And Reed closes the door from outside. Then when both of them move towards the basement, then they get hurt. Seeing that there was no way out of there. Then from the basement, there is a sound of someone walking from the other side. Seeing this, Barney takes out a knife from his pocket. And gives it to Braxton. Which he had picked up. When Reed was giving a lecture on religion. She says to Braxton, if Reed wants to attack us, then kill him with this knife. When I say in code word, magic underwear. His focus is on me. That's why I'm telling you to do it. So the whole preparation was done. But suddenly not Mr. Reed. But a woman comes in grey clothes. Looking at her, both of them get scared for a moment. Because she was looking very creepy. They were thinking if it was a ghost or a human. By the way, it was a human. Which was looking like a ghost. Because of being a malnourished. His bones were visible. That's why she was looking like a ghost. She had a lantern in one hand. So there was a blueberry pie in the other. Then through the speaker, Reed tells him that today, right now, you will see a miracle. I will show you God's miracle. What is in front of you right now? This is a prophet. And the blueberry pie in front of it. There is poison in it. She will die after eating it. But she will be alive again by God's miracle. And then that so-called prophet. She dies immediately after eating that pie. Then Reed says, now see. She will be alive in a while. Reed sees that a man had come from the church on the door, who was asking about both the sisters. But Reed clearly lies. That both of them did not come here. As for the cycle of both of them on the gate. So Reed had already removed them. And this man goes from there cluelessly. And starts looking for them here and there in this stormy night. On the other hand, both were busy burning the cloth. Before they get success. Suddenly she scares Reed's prophet by being alive. Both are surprised to see him alive again. Then Reed comes there. And takes his prophet. And comes back and says to both. So tell me, what did you see? Barney understands that he is playing mind games with us. He just wants to break our faith. She doesn't get trapped in his trick. And says that this was not a miracle. This was just a magic trick. Nothing else. You can't fool us. And in her eyes, she points to Paxton. That this is the chance. And by trapping Reed in talks. In the end she says magic underwear. But as soon as she says the core word, Reed cuts Barney's throat. Paxton can't do anything. And she gets scared and runs away from there. And beats the door hard. And shouts help help. But there was no one to listen to her. Then Reed calls her and says, "Come down. No problem. She will be alive again." But when Paxton comes down, then Reed says sorry. I have just identified that she won't be reborn. And to tell the reason, he tears Barney's hand and takes out a piece of metal, which Paxton sees and understands that this is a contraceptive device. So as the name suggests, that the device is used for birth control. Even though there was a mystery in the church, she was doing all this. Reed says that she won't be reborn, because she is not real. She is just like a program. Here he also gives reference to the Matrix. What he meant was, see how Barney was living this double lifestyle, riding in 2 to 9. She didn't know who to believe. She didn't have her own decision power. She was just a part of a simulation. He says to Paxton, I showed you both miracle and simulation theory demo. So tell me, do you believe in miracle now? Or is my simulation theory right? But Paxton was slowly understanding Reed's trick. She says that you must have made the simulation demo plan. When we were sitting, you saw a surgical mark on Barney's arm. And about the miracle, it was fake. And she explains everything. How did Reed do all this? In which she says, that prophet was not alive when the bell rang, and our attention was disturbed. Then your other slave took his place. His body double. I caught him when I saw him the second time. So his position changed a little. And his face was also looking a little different. Reed says, if this is the case, then tell me where his dead body went. On which Paxton guesses a little. And then she removes the table and shows a secret basement. Reed says, if the body is found in this basement, then your theory will be proven right. But to know this, you have to get inside it. Paxton says I will go. Because I have to find out the truth. Maybe this is the only way with which I can get out of here. Reed says, if you are really ready to know that true reason, then you have to go inside. And Paxton goes inside without saying anything, as it was his last hope to get out of here alive. As soon as he gets down in the cellar, Paxton finds the body of that lady. Looking up, she says I knew. I was right. Reed says nothing and closes the cellar. And Paxton goes ahead, because now he has to go to Reed's true reason. Then at the end, she reaches a door, on which the lock of her cycle was placed. And the key was with her. Anyway, she opens the door and goes inside, which was actually a cellar-like place. I don't know how many women Reed had enslaved here, and kept in the cell, in the same malnourished state. Then Reed comes there and asks, did you get the answer? Paxton says yes. I understood everything. And explains everything. How Reed was manipulating them from the beginning. In the beginning, when you took our code and went inside, then we thought you were talking to your wife. But actually, at that time, you took the key out of Sister Barnes' code, and went out, and removed our cycle from the gate. When you came back, then I noticed your wet hair, but I made a mistake in understanding one thing. At first I thought, by mistake, you put the key in my pocket, instead of Sister Barnes' pocket. But now I understood what you did on purpose. You knew that with that key, I am going to open this door. I am not standing here by my own will, but I am standing because you wanted it, so that you can convince me about your one true religion, which is control. Reed says exactly. In my opinion, religion is a kind of system which controls people's lives. Religious leaders control people through this and become powerful. I do the same. I like to control people. Here, Peston feels pity for those women. She tells them that I will help you. But Reed says that they don't need your help. They are here because they have chosen this destiny, just like you people have chosen. Or it can be said that you have been manipulated. Since you were born, religious leaders decide whom you will worship, what you will eat, what you will wear. Reed was here to bully Peston. And Peston was just crying. But, actually, something else was going on here. Because next moment, Peston runs away by putting the key in Reed's pocket. And tries to get out. But he couldn't find the way. Because this house was like a maze. In the meantime, Reed comes. And stabs Peston in the stomach. And both of them start dying. Reed says that pray for both of us. And Peston starts praying for both of them. And it shows her kindness. Reed says that even in this end moment, she is attached to her religion. And he comes to kill her by dragging himself. And he is about to kill Peston. But before he kills Peston, someone kills him with a nail. And it was none other than Sister Barnes, who was no less than a miracle. But she doesn't survive for long. She dies in a few moments. And in the end, Peston somehow escapes from that place. And with this film ends. And now let's talk about Reed's character and his plan. So Reed was an evil intellectual who could go to any extent. First, he didn't want to kill Barnes. He just wanted to make him his slave. And it depended on their choice. If he would have chosen the door of disbelief, then ultimately both of them would have surrendered. And from that door, they would have reached the same place, where Reed would have completely brainwashed them and made him his slave. But when they chose the door of belief, after that he executed the second plan, that is to kill Barnes, and to open the door with Peston. Reed already predicted his every move, and was about to make his move. But, from the beginning, the innocent and weak Peston was betrayed. He couldn't predict his last move, which was broken so easily in the beginning. We didn't even think that she would make such a strong comeback in the end. This is the best part of this film, as far as Sister Barnes's resurrection is concerned. So either it was really a miracle, or Barnes wasn't dead. She was just pretending to be dead. Now, which is the right thing? It depends on your faith and choice. So friends, this was the explanation of Heretic movie.